To starting a space business, it's definitely not the easiest environment to start a business. I think if most people were to rank order what's the highest return on investment, I mean, space would not be very good. I mean, it's car industry also quite difficult. When starting SpaceX, the joke, I heard the joke, this joke so often, it was ridiculous. The joke was, how do you make a small fortune in the space industry? And the punchline, of course, being start with a large one. I mean, I do think there is opportunity in space, but it's tough going. I think if SpaceX and other companies can lower the cost of transport to orbit and perhaps beyond, then there's a lot of potential for entrepreneurship at the destination. I mean, you can think of it like the Union Pacific Railway. You know, before there was the Union Pacific Railway, it was real hard to have commerce between the West Coast and the East Coast. It would go by wagon or a really long sailing journey. But once there was the transport, then there were huge opportunities. And now look at sort of, you know, California and Washington State and all the industries that have been created in Silicon Valley and Hollywood. But you got to have that fundamental transport element. Otherwise, it's really tricky. So we're trying to establish that transport element, make it easier to get to low Earth orbit, and hopefully in the future make it easier to get to the Moon or Mars. And I do have sort of this long-term vision of like, if there was affordable transport to a place like Mars, I think the entrepreneurial opportunities would be phenomenal. You know, because there'd be people that would want to create everything from the first pizza joint to the first iron ore factory to be like just an enormous amount of opportunity for people to create things on Mars, and there'd be different things on Mars. Some of the things on Mars would be different that we don't even imagine on Earth. It'd be very exciting. So I think that's really key to making things happen in space. Is you've got to have some place to go and some way to get there.